real tough. I suck your nuts, nigga. I suck your nuts.
Okay.
I suck your nuts. And you know it.
You telling
I'm
the
the
truth.
truth.
You telling the truth.
I suck your nuts. You scared?
Peace. It's Kyrie from White Rabbit Psychedelics and the Colombian Exchange. And the question that I have for you today, are you a shaman? A shaman is simply one who knows. There are such things such as entheogens. And if you look up the etymology of entheogens, it simply means God within. So when you eat these plants that are encoded with God's DNA, you get the codes of the universe downloaded into your system. Even the Christians get down with this theory or this concept. All you have to do is go to Mark chapter 6, verse 51. And Jesus is basically saying, I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. And he doubles down on this when he says, truly, I tell you that unless you eat from the bread of life, you will never receive eternal life. And when you understand that he is not being relative, he's not being figurative, he's being literal. And everybody is not a shaman. But if you are a shaman, then you're willing to take a part of God within yourself, cure yourself of your mental and emotional and spiritual diseases. And then the next part, you go into healing other people. So many people just deep dive into helping and healing other people without doing the true inner work, the entheogen work, digesting and consuming psychoactive plants. Here on the West, we think that you're crazy or weird for doing these types of things. But for millions and millions of years, this was just normal practice of shamans or healers of the village. So I'm asking you, are you a shaman or are you?
In the basis of our reality, the same algorithms that run Google, Facebook, and the rest of them are embedded in the reality. So it is a self-fulfilling technology. They've taken what is the mycelial network, which is the internet of the earth, mycelium, fungi, mushrooms. And that knowledge, because the mushroom mycelium is sentient, what we see as the mushroom is the reproductive portion of the mushroom, the stem and the cap. The cap being female and the stem being male. Them together makes little mushrooms.
I project myself outside of myself and I talk to myself when I'm speaking.
Man, peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It's the Hood Mystic. Checking to make sure my echo cancellation is on so y'all don't hear me repeating myself. Let's give another round of applause for you for tuning in and tapping into the truth. Because why would you want to be tapped in and tuned into a lie, man? The scamming is at an all-time high, and I'm just here to balance the tides. You feel me? Let us talk about what we came here to talk about as I bring up my overlay. Get this thing percolating. Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It's the Hood Mystic, representing hoodmystic.com, whiterabbitpsych.com, colombianexchange.com. Those are the business that we run, which are just basically us living a spiritual life and sharing that with the public so that they could begin to overstand, understand, and understand themselves as well. That is a segue into the topic that we're going to be talking about today. What is understanding, innerstanding, and overstanding? There are words that we use that we're just throwing out there, but if we ever took the time to break them down and get some understanding, innerstanding, and overstanding, we would be able to get a point of reference and transcend. The reality of the spiritual life is that people be stuck in the same loops and cycles because there is no true understanding, understanding, and overstanding. You know, to be a D writer is actually it's gonna cost you a lot of money. But to understand, understand, and overstand what you are meant to do on this earth is actually going to be free. So the reason that we talk about the astrology is because every human being will bear witness to the day being Monday. Have you ever heard somebody say today is Monday, I hate Monday, or reference the day of being Monday? Well, the reason that you call it Monday is based off it basically being the moon day. So if astrology isn't real, why do you call Sunday Sunday and Monday Monday? The sun day, the moon day also is 7 days of a week. You have seven chakras that align with the five classical planets. I was about to say the five classical panties. Can you name them for extra bonus credit? The five classical planets, the two celestial bodies, the sun and the moon. So the five classical planets are Mars, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. Sun and the moon. That's 7 days, that's seven chakras. The reason that you don't care or understand or even, want to process your chakras is because they told you about the 7 days of the week. And now you are weak. But if we understand, overstand, and understand the naming and the energy associated with the days of the week, then also incorporate the astrology. The moon makes a lot of aspects because it is the fastest moving celestial body that rotates around the ecliptic, which would be Capricorn, and that's the energy that we're in. So I want to talk about a Capricorn moon, and I want to talk about a specific deacon, a deacon that I don't talk about that much, but it's also an important deacon that needs to be discussed, and that would be the second deacon of Capricorn. So if we just remove the overlay, I'm going to bring up some screen share technology. Shout out to technology, holding it down. So this is going to be a basic stream of consciousness. So hopefully you guys are tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Because what's the use of living life when you're not horny? That don't even make sense, right? You're not getting no loving? That's wild. Why are you punishing yourself like that? Can you explain to me why you punishing yourself like that? Ain't nobody licking on that thing? Well, it's time to do some magic so you can get somebody to step up and take a deep dive and swim in that pearl. Chakras are thought to be energy centers in the body that correspond with specific organs and nerve bundles. Now, the AI is giving you an overview, but the reality is that it wasn't like this before I put out this book that you're seeing right here, Chakra Nova. You are the book, where we get into the nitty gritty of the body and how it relates to the chakras. When you understand and overstand your chakras, you understand and overstand yourself. If you don't understand yourself, you don't really know anything because scientists, doctors, and teachers do not know you better than you know you. How could they? But if you don't take the time to learn you, the same way that you learn their books, then you're going to feel smart because you got an A or you graduated high school, college. But the reality is you're not smart because you don't know who you are. One's in the chat if you go to school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. One's on the chat if you get the weekend off on Saturday and Sunday. How do you know what days you go to school? Based upon the sun, the moon, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and Mercury. That's how you know you're going to school. So when we begin to study the astrology and the planetary influences, that is something that nobody wants to do. One's in the chat if you go to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sometimes Sunday. You go to work on the days of the week. But then we say, yeah, the planets correspond directly to the chakras, which correspond directly to the hormones, which correspond directly to your proper state of mind. But it's mumbo jumbo to think that the correspondence between you and Venus is non-existent, but it's right and exact when you get a cell phone call from your uncle. This is what we left off talking about in reference to the full moon, the sun opposed the moon, which is two far-reaching energies, but somehow they correspond and they represent a beautiful sight to see in our atmosphere. And then another person will say, well, Julio Fulio transition during a full moon. That has nothing to do with it. That is not even real. And I know people like, who is Julio Fulio? But those that know, like, oh shit, I think this nigga is onto something. So like I said, this is a stream of consciousness. You have an identity in the spiritual realm. You have a mansion, you have vehicles, spaceships, servants, servitors, you have mistresses, you have concubines, you have all of these particular things in the spiritual world that you do not take advantage of because you're living in a one-bedroom apartment in real life. Because you don't understand, understand, or overstand the astrological implications, that the understanding that you would even bear witness to a melanated person. The reality is that I am a black astrologer, nigga. Do you understand? If I was a white astrologer, how crazy this shit would be? I am a black astrologer. They do not want you to know this shit. Period. Because that means that you're no longer under their system. One's in the chat. When you go to work, you are not creating the system. I don't care how much confirmation bias, because they fucking serve pizza today. You think that spell worked. Nigga, you are on lockdown. Because when we talk about astrology, it's like, yeah, I don't get it. I'm trying to just figure out where I'm going to be rich. I don't know. But nigga, Venus lives within you in the heart chakra. The moon lives within you through the sexual organs, the semen or the ovaries. All of these things produce hormones. So if you're in the proper energy, your life is going to operate in a certain type of way. When you're out of a certain type of energy, your life is going to operate in a certain type of way. I know you bear witness to having bad fucking luck. I know you bear witness to, I can't believe all of this good shit is happening in one day. This is fucking amazing. And then the good things happen. What happens? You secrete hormones. That's like your ancestors saying, we got you, nigga. POP, hold it down. So intellectual property in relation to the internet, is it a connection Why, yes, it is a connection, because the wireless transmission, the same shit it's the same shit. If a nigga can bear witness to Wi-Fi, then a nigga can bear witness to the moon and the phases and the impacts that it have on his vessel, because you're not even as big as the fucking ocean. And the moon impacts the tides of the ocean. So you're a minuscule aspect to the ocean. It could be that the moon controls your whole entire being. You're just not into the functionality of progress in the cycles of your consciousness, because everything is just one thing. You're just trying to get a job. You're just trying to get money. You're just trying to get a car. You're just trying to get your platform off the ground. You're just trying to. But then when it's like, how much understanding do you have? Not much. Well, do you know how much intellectual property that you own right in this moment? No, I don't understand how much intellectual property I own, because I don't own no actual property. Well, let's get into the understandings and understandings of what is intellectual property. Intellectual property refers to the creations of the mind. So when you don't actively go deep into the subatomic unit, and I'm gonna give you the how-tos in this episode. So if you want to know how to get into a place where you can start buying land, right, with the creations of your mind, starting to take advantage of how much real estate you have in the universe, because you are 99% dark matter. You are 1% human. So what is going to always be fucking you up during this time? The humanity, your mama, your daddy, your family, your kids. They're always going to be pulling on your energy, because that's what they're designed to do. All you have to do is watch The Last Matrix, the coffee scene, when they at the coffee house and the family is like, come on, Trinity, let's go home. And Trinity like, no, I don't think that you're real. I think that I need to be with this guy so we can actually do the work that we're supposed to do. And the matrix takes place in the mind. Where do they connect the thing at where they go into the matrix? Do they connect it to the knee? Do they connect it to the stomach? Or do they connect it to the brainstem? And then when Morpheus takes him to that white room, what is he doing? Is he just standing there like twiddling his thumb, or is he creating things with his mind? So then you got to begin to ask your question. Why am I so fucked up? Why is life beating me down so much? Why is things not happening the way that I want to? Because you don't know how to understand, overstand, and understand the creations of the mind and just how deep it gets. Because you would rather work on a Monday than observe the energies in reference to the moon, for which your job can come and go. The moon have already always been there. And when you begin to understand this, overstand this, and apply it in a daily habit, that's what we're doing with these daily energy readings. We're like, shit, if we forget it, then it's over. If I'm holding on to a string and I let the string go, I don't hold it, it's gone. So we have to begin to build up our memory and our muscles when it comes to understanding, overstanding the times, the days, the energies, the aspects, and how they relate to our consciousness. The download that I got was in the realms of IP. Intellectual property is the same as your IP address. An IP address is a unique string of characters that identifies each computer's using the internet protocol to communicate over a network. So when you communicate to your higher self, to your ancestors, to deities, to all things, you're utilizing a unique string of characters that represent you. You don't actually believe that you have this power. That's the only problem, bro. That's the only problem, sis. You can talk directly to anything you want to talk to, but it's not like how me and you are talking. It's through the signal of smoke. The burnt offering that they talk about in the Bible. You program the offering. Your life is not going to change spiritually until you start burning herbs. That is your unique string of characters. What is smoke but a unique string of characters that is going to go to different places that you can't go to? That's going to then spread beyond the walls and spread within the mist of the universe and travel to energies that are in other dimensions that are happening right in front of you. You just do not see it. You communicate through the fog. You can, like, once the fog, you start to see the layers. Y'all have seen goddamn Ocean's 11. If you're trying to steal the jewel, you got to throw some smoke in there so you can see where the lasers is at so you can get through. Mission Impossible. Stop acting like y'all don't know this. So your IP address, your intellectual property, they all exist within the same realm. Are you tuning in and tapping to it? Do you even understand the modes and the codes to tap into it? It starts right here in the understanding and overstanding of Ein Sof, Or. So I'm going to bring up a overlay to explain this, and we are going to get into how to cook up spiritually for free. Because why the fuck it came to me free? Why the fuck I got to charge you for it? That don't even make sense. Information is free because it don't matter. The information don't matter. You got to utilize the shit. If half of the motherfucking niggas ain't going to utilize it, half of the people going to fixate and focus on their job or their girlfriend. Ain't no salvation in that. So, you know, do what you do. I ain't mad at you. Shout out to Tupac. I'm the fabric of consciousness in its original state. And there's certain beings and entities that cannot access this energy, but they know that you can access this energy. So they're going to separate you from your chakras. So you're not going to prioritize your chakras and how you feel. So you're going to be doing things that you don't want to do for money. And once you're in that state of mind, it doesn't matter. You're a physical person. That's the most important thing to you. You're not going to meditate. You're not going to do shit. And you're going to be like a fucking bowling ball traveling down a mountain. Whenever somebody try to stand in your way to try to slow you down or stop, it's not going to matter. You're just going to roll through them because you don't understand who you are. You're not a human. You're not in the world. You are, but you're mostly in another dimension. And I'll explain this when we deal with the train of thought. So the Ein, the fabric of consciousness in its original state, undifferentiated, is just imagine total darkness. Ein Sof, the fabric of consciousness as it existed after the initial intensification of consciousness. In secular science, they call it the Big Bang, where everything is everything. We all are contained within a container. The whole universe has to have a beginning and an ending, but since we're in it, we can only imagine what it is. But at a certain point, it was all one thing, and then it all expanded. But even though it expanded, the reality is that you're not separated from the all because you're contained within it. It's like being in a house. If you're in the house, there's no way you can be out the house unless you get out the house. But you know if you're outside the house versus if you know you're inside the house. You know that you're in earth, so you're in the earth. But there is a larger reality that you must bear witness to. That's why you study the sun, the moon, the stars, and things of that nature, because there's more important shit than what's going on around you. 99% of the shit that matters is not happening on earth. So when you have conscious or content creators talking about what they did on earth, that doesn't matter. Where did you go in the other dimension? And see, you can go to other dimensions in your house. You can go to other dimensions right now. That's the truth. You don't got to go nowhere. You don't got to do shit really, but you just need to understand how to travel, how to get to where you need to get to, and it's within yourself. But If you think that the earth is the earth and that's all that it needs to be, then you're trying to figure out where you need to go within the earth to be in the earth, but you're already in the earth. You need to get outside of the earth. You need to not imagine that you know what astrology is and begin to continue to study. Oh, I watched a video on what does astrology mean, or I'm a sun in the third house, and I really like your videos on astrology. So I watched these videos on what it meant, so I know what astrology means. No, the fuck you don't. This is an ongoing research. So Ein Sof Or is the fabric of consciousness as it exists during the perpetual and eternal emanation or unfolding of physical creation or emanating consciousness. So this is the ever living spiritual realm boundary that allows Atlanteans, Asiatics, the original people, however you want to call us black, call us Moors, nigga. Get out of here with trying to label the original people on the planet. The only thing that you need to know is that you have access to dimensions that these devils can't get to. And that is what's holding you back. You trying to establish yourself in a system that is literally meant for you to be under lockdown. It's called archons. They actually, your supervisor is an archon. Yes, you know it. Your boss is an archon. I don't care how many pizza parties they throw. Every Friday they bring in subs, girl. I like working here. Lockdown. Because you can go into inner dimensions and create the life for you, but you got to go deep into the netherworld. You got to have understanding and overstanding of this shit. That takes time. Understanding is I watched the video and I conceptually get it. Innerstanding is okay, let me actually practice meditating, taking high doses of psilocybin so I can get into the altered state of consciousness. Okay, why psilocybin? Because if you take large doses of LSD, you dead. If you take large doses of DMT, unalived. If you take large doses of fentanyl, well, you already know what happened. Large doses of opioids is cancel Christmas. Large doses of THC, you're going to sleep. You can take large doses of psilocybin. You never heard of anybody transcending from taking psilocybin. So the reality is large doses leads to transformation, but people either don't do it because I'm saying it, do it because you did the research, do it because you did the training wheels, you took an eighth, you took 7 grams, you took 10 grams, you took 20 grams. Like you got to actually work yourself up to it because the shit is real. And if you don't think that it's real, then that's on you. But I know life is kicking your ass because you don't have understanding. You just might have a place to stay, nigga. You might just have a nice car. You might have a girl that's giving you hell. You haven't gone to the depths of creation to find your soulmate and bring her out of the goddamn subatomic realm so you can live happily and blissfully. No, you haven't done that. You just met a girl online and she giving you nothing but her ass to kiss because she don't like you. She doesn't know you. She doesn't recognize you. You don't recognize her. You don't know shit about this shit. And you keep listening to these people who don't know shit about this shit. And y'all are just the blind leading the blind. You got to go through the realms to understand what the truth is. And if I go through the realms, it ain't going to do shit for you. Kabbalah means to receive. Receive what? Receive from who? How? This is the way. Yes, the word Kabbalah comes from the Hebrew word kabel, which means to receive. So, boom, now you got to look back at the tree of life. Matter of fact, let's just do it like this. All I did was look at images. So when you get with the When you get to the Kabbalah, which means receive, that'll bring you to the tree of life. The tree of life will bring it back to your body. The body then will connect it back to the planets. Now, it might seem like, well, I don't know nothing about it. If you didn't learn, nigga, how would you know? That doesn't make sense. Obviously, you don't know because you haven't learned about it. Like, I don't know how we expect to learn things without actually studying not the stars, but you. These aspects of you, these chakras, these hormones, the way that you feel and power about who you are. You should be able to go deep within, create the reality that you want to create, and live in that reality. When I'm just going to say this, poor people do not buy mushrooms. This is not a poor person's thing. And I'm not saying that like only rich people can buy mushrooms, because you can get mushrooms for $20. It's not like it's expensive. That's why rich people get it. No. People who know have understood that if I take a certain amount of dosage, I can create my reality, because I transcend the material world and go to the realm that the archons cannot fucking go. They got to keep you on lockdown. They got to give you a holiday. They got to give you a birthday. If you conscious, you don't care about your birthday. Because that's not even your birthday. What the fuck? That's not your birthday, bro. That's not your birthday. You were born millions of years ago in a time, billions of years ago, in a time that didn't even have a fucking date to reference the day when you were actually born. For real. That's the truth. But if you say, oh, I was born such and such date, I'm 58 years old, you're not conscious. You're not aware of who you are. So when we start to get into the energy, so what we're talking about is a Capricorn moon conjunct Pluto, the planet of transformation, doing this dance with a lot of different planets. Moon square Mars, moon trine Jupiter, moon sextile Neptune, moon conjunct Pluto. So it's like really hitting off major planets today. And the moon is centered in how we actually feel at the nighttime level, right? The moon is some shit that ain't nobody going to talk about when you got a job. I know you like, hood, what you talking about? See, when you got a job, that's the sun. Generally, you wake up, first thing you do is go to work, right? You go to work all day, come home, go to eat, and go to sleep, wake up and work. So your actual moon, which is a third of your existence, which is very important, is how you sleep, how you having sex. All of these things are important. They relate to how you feel. Sometimes the sex gets so good that the day is just automatically good. Whatever happens throughout the day is good because the sex is so good. And it matters how you show up in life if you got a proper moon. Sometimes the sex can be so good that you don't even know where you would be if you didn't have the good sex in your life. You don't got to overcompensate on nothing when your life is balanced. You don't forsake the sun for the moon. That's just ignorant. So you wouldn't say, oh, I quit my job because the sex was so good. You wouldn't say that. Like, if the sex is that good, can you please send me your number, fella? Like, bruh, can you send me your number? Like, what is her phone number? I would like to know. If you ever got some sex so good that it made you quit your job, send that over, bro. I want them kind of problems. But anyways, the same way you shouldn't fixate on focusing on having a career without dealing with the love part, because what a lot of people do, is overcompensate with their sun energy and don't have anything in reference to the moon. My personal belief is that your sun and moon should be conjoined, meaning that you should be with somebody that you could work with all the time. It's nothing better than working with somebody. And this is something that I learned from pimps. It's nothing better than getting money with somebody and then making love to them at the end of the night after y'all ran up a bag together using y'all ingenuity and creativity. It makes the relationship worth it. Now, if she go to work over here and you go to work over there and y'all meeting at the end exhausted, like what you want to do today? Fuck it, let's just get DoorDash. Then the energy ain't really what it's supposed to be. Y'all not taking each other seriously, and so y'all both under lockdown. Shout out to Kanye West, right? Love lockdown. And then when y'all get together, it's like we got to make time for each other. Man, this shit is 24/7. 365 days a week. It's like the air to your lungs. At what point can you survive without the air being in your lungs? If the air move away from your lungs, you're going to die. So when you talk about sun and the moon, it's the same thing. When you separate them and try to like work it out, then it's going to be real hard for you to like manage life. So most people think about this, right? This is a real thing. What are Monday blues? The Monday blues, look at this shit, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen because this shit, gosh, they can't be serious with this shit, man. Let me see. What is the share this tab instead? The Monday blues are common. Listen to this shit. Meaning that it's 7 billion people in the world. It's goddamn hundreds of millions of people in the United States, and it's common for y'all to feel sadness, anxiety, or lack of motivation that some people experience at the beginning of the work week. Well, it's called a week, so that's the same thing as SWV saying you weaken the knees. Like it's not going to make you strong by going to school from Monday. See, the only reason that you would even do this shit is because your mama forced you to go to school, first of all. If you didn't have the programming, your ass wouldn't even have the mental, like when you be wanting to quit and give up because the job is that frustrating, that's when that your mama kick in, like, you better motherfucking go to school. I'm gonna whip your mom. You know what I'm saying? So you get, all right, you get your game face on, and it be Thursday. You push through Friday. You like, God damn, I get a couple of days off, and that shit ain't gonna save you. Them 2 days is not gonna save you. You back up in that bitch doing some shit that you don't hate. So yeah, it's not easy what I'm talking about. But I'll be damned if you put me in this situation. I'm back to Craigslist with it because y'all know Snickers will not listen. Snickers will come out in a heartbeat if it's a button. I got a Snickers button. I'll push that motherfucker. I do not care. Like I will metamorphosize into Snickers in a goddamn heartbeat. Listen, I'm not going to work for these people, these goddamn archons. I done seen the true version of this shit, man. This shit it's a lot of people that's NPCs that's programmed to hold your ass back. And you out here working for these people. And it's like, well, what could you do in reference to like building your life up? Well, it's actually a lot you can do because it's always ancestors watching. Remember that song? I always feel like somebody's watching me. That's real life. That's real life. Somebody is always watching you. These dimensions have access to you where you don't have access to them. So when you begin to live accordingly, and it don't mean that you don't have sex, they actually want you to have sex. They actually reward sex. But see, you dealing with people off a hinge and plenty of fish, and that ain't what they actually looking for. So in this picture, and this is the card of the Three of Discs. This is the second deacon of Capricorn, where the moon is at. In this picture, you see a porn star, a master mason, and a god and a goddess. The god and the goddess is observing the porn star and the master mason. The master mason, meaning that he is an occult psychonaut, because in the secret societies, they on straight up psychedelics in the higher realms to tap in and control this goddamn world. That's how it works, right? And the reason that you don't know shit about the world and how it works is because you don't go into the deep realms within yourself. If you want to be in a secret society, I don't care what name it is, it's a reference to psychedelics, so you can have a direct relationship with the deity that's over that secret society. So in order for a master mason to be in that realm, he done had to get into them other realms either naturally or psychogenically enhanced. A porn star, you remember what Kanye West say? You ain't never had sex with the lights on. Keep it a buck. You be having sex when in complete darkness because you're ashamed of your body. But they can the gods and goddesses can see in the dark. That's negative energy that you're attracting in your life. You was ashamed of the vessel that God gave you. What Kanye say? You ain't never had sex with the lights on. I don't even know what song it is. Y'all know what song I'm talking about. But yeah, to be a porn star, to get them angles, to like them angles, because I would be trying to like film, it just be my butt, and I'd be like, no, that ain't that ain't how it's supposed to go. What happened to the angle? This don't look like the porn I used to watch on Pornhub. But anyways, we talking about the Three of Earth, the Three of Disc, and the concept is skill, ability, celebrity, or notoriety will lead to manifestation. So to understand and overstand these particular concepts, we have to break it into what is skill and ability. Because if we assume, we're going to magically assume that skill and ability is the same thing. So I brought up my trusty, dusty etymology to differentiate what is skill, what is ability, and how does it relate to having a specific understanding, understanding, overstanding of how the world works. So when you have a skill, it is knowledge, it is divine wisdom. Divine wisdom is not something that you learn from somebody else. You are a divine being. If you have a life that you are breathing, you are a divine being. You are not keeping yourself alive. You're not that smart. The divine wisdom within you that you are not in tuning with through meditation and deep, dark psychonaut journeys. So you should take some time to like just blindfold yourself, close your eyes, and go deep within yourself to get true wisdom. It helps with psychedelics, especially if you never did psychedelics ever before and you have this intent to go deep within yourself until you begin to talk to somebody that is not you. There is consciousness and wisdom within you that is willing to talk to you, but you have to get through the barriers. Now, this is something that you've already done because you got skills. Most of us have skills that we don't know where they came from. They just are something that is deep within us. And this is something that we just want to focus on, something that we want to learn, and something that we work with over time. And then we could just commute it into material objects. An ability, though, is different than a skill. The difference is like drawing, right? Now, everybody can draw, but somebody like Chris Visions, he can draw. Like he can draw. Like, he can draw. I have the ability to draw. Chris Visions has the skill to draw. There's a difference. We all have abilities, but we all don't have skills. And skills is a refinement of what comes from within you. Now, you want to learn what your skill is because that is the mode for you to create the changes that you want to happen in your life. You're not going to get something for nothing. You can't even take a deep breath without taking an exhalation. You got to have an inhale and you got to have an exhale. So this will require notoriety or celebrity status. Notoriety just means that the gods and goddesses know you. You don't have to deal with people to have notoriety. Any celebrity have went deep within themselves through the deep desire of fame. You got to want that shit bad. And when you get it, it's not through you being so good looking or you being so talented. It's because you have made a pact with certain otherworldly entities that they will bring you the success or the notoriety that you so desperately are seeking out. So when we talk about getting anywhere in life, you want to be successful, but don't nobody know you. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And a lot of people want to put out content. A lot of people want to be successful, and they haven't never did the inner work. The inner work that says, oh, you can be successful. And this is further down when you read about the three of this. It is said, and this is like they go into many different things about the card. So she starts off with saying, a lot has been said, but not many understand that the body is merely a reflection of your dark side, the invisible you, who is the majority of you. So the Ein Sof, or the perpetual spiritual soul energy that is flowing through you that makes you alive, you can't access it. But shit, when it goes away, you ain't about to be here no more. And see, we don't have no control over that. All we can do is begin to understand who we are at the invisible dark matter melanin level. Because if we are actually talking about melanin, your melanin don't exist outside of you. Your melanin exists within you. And so you would need to do inner work to even find the light within the darkness. And it has nothing to do with the outside external world. It is in the dark warmth of your infinite light, spirit, or meditation that all life comes from. The body is alive, but in itself is not life. As stated, the body is a reflection of life. Think well from your deep, dark psyche places to be alive and well. It pays to remember this axiom: do unto others as you would have done to you, for that is in itself the triangle of three: idea, cause, and effect. So one of the best things that I could ever done in my content creation career was sow into other content creators, buy products from people. What did that create? It created people buying products from me. One's in the chat, if that makes sense. It'd be a hard way to go when you cheap as hell. I'm gonna just be real about it. It'd be a hard way to roll being cheap. And then trying to want money. That'd be a hard road. Any financial book could tell you the more you give, the more you receive. But when we broke, we don't really fully understand that. Because if you was rich, you would fully grasp the concept.
even in the business. In order to run and operate the business, it costs a lot of money. A lot of money goes in back into the business. But that's how the business is here. So it makes sense to me. But I like if you told me, here goes this, if a younger version of me, if you told me, here go this money, I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna buy some shit. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna get drinks. I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna go travel to Florida for the weekend. I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna enjoy. You give me money now, I'm like, oh, I gotta invest this shit. I gotta invest because at the point, that's the cause to the effect. I can't expect to get money if I don't invest. When I was young and I was broke, I would get money and I would spend it and I would be like, damn, I'm broke. I don't know what I'm gonna do. That's what you're gonna feel. That's what you're gonna feel 1,000,000% of the time. You get money, you don't put it into where it'll pay you back, you're not gonna get paid back. You don't know nobody, you an introvert, you don't talk to nobody, well, you're not gonna make no money. You don't deal with no spirits, you don't go deep within yourself to contact energies. Nobody's gonna know who you are. You could deal with Oshun tomorrow, wake up, everybody knows your name. A 2-year-old video went viral or some shit, and you're on and popping. The spirits control the algorithms. You don't make yourself known. You don't utilize your IP address. You don't utilize your intellectual property. Your intellectual property is centered in your conscious reality, and you're not able to actually get a grasping of who you are as a celestial being. You are a celestial being. That's what you are. Your body is just a protection for your spine. Your body just created itself so it can protect itself. That is Ein Sof Or. Ein is the consciousness that creates the brain and the spine, the central nervous system that operates as chakras. Then the Ein Sof is the body that it creates for it to so it's Ein, which is the consciousness, Ein Sof, the brain and the stem, the spine, Ein Sof Or, the consciousness, the brain and the stem, and this in the spine, and the body, all is one entity. What happens is we get so fixated on who we are as a human. And then we try to incorporate idea, cause, and effect, and it's not right and exact because the idea has to be that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. It has to be that you're a consciousness. But you have to go through these barriers and these boundaries within your consciousness, within your nervous system, your behaviors, and then that which creates the effect. Everything is a natural, normal process. You could be building a building and each brick will place on top of each other, but you don't even know that you're building a building. You don't know that one thing is going to lead to another thing. That's why you got to live within the day and maximize your effort and make sure that you are a master mason and a porn star. Okay, I'm doing just a brief overview of what we talked about, so those who know will know. It is unbreakable in its stability, so it pays to know what your ideas create. It pays to know what your ideas create. If you identify others instead of anothers, everyone I see is another way to be me, you will keep lessening yourself. Meaning that if you are looking at these gurus, if you are looking at these people because they ain't did shit but scam you, they ain't did shit but scam the people for money. Y'all got to understand this. Spirituality is the one thing that does not cost money. I do not care. And I'll tell this to you because I don't make my money off of YouTube. I don't make my money off y'all watching this video. I make my money in other places. And you should make your money in other places as well. You don't have to lie to people, make money on YouTube, maximize your viewership because the masses is going to like the lies. Okay? Spirituality is one of the things that is free because spirituality relies on yourself. Now, the things that I've said, the things that I've promoted have been in direct alignment with the conversation. And at the end of the day, 99% of the people listen to the video is not going to buy the book. The 1% of the people that's going to buy the book need the book to help them identify the chakras in their nerve centers because that shit matters to them. But with all this being said, when you begin to fully invest in who you are, that creates an understanding that then leads to an innerstanding that leads to an overstanding of yourself. And this relies upon you. If it is a other or another, in order to be in their presence, you must lessen yourself. You only need to actually connect with your divine counterpart. And you need to be locked in with your divine counterpart. That will solve all of your problems. Being linked in with a bunch of strangers on the internet is going to create more problems than solve problems. And one person is better than 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. It just is. So with all that being said, you can lock in and both of y'all can travel and heal and do the work. That don't cost nothing. If you're in a relationship that's taxing you emotionally, mentally, physically, psychologically, that person is draining you, that person doesn't put the energy and effort for you to be the best version of yourself, you with a man that doesn't discipline you and lead you, then he is just there for the pussy. So when the relationship ends, when it will end, because a relationship based on pussy is a relationship that a woman controls, and eventually the part of a man, the chakra part of a man that he's not in tune with is going to come alive. He's either going to cheat or leave. And then the relationship is over because the relationship was based on pussy. Now, if we have a leadership follower role in reference to what we're going to be doing, and you'd be like, well, I don't want to listen to my man because he shouldn't be telling me what to do. Okay, if you're in a car and he's driving, do you have another steering wheel? Like, do y'all turn left and right together, or is it one steering wheel? And if a person is driving, do you just not let them lead? So all of this to say, if you don't think like that, you probably single or you in a toxic ass relationship because it's not 50-50. It's not we both see eye to eye on everything. One person have the final say. And this is how things go. But the way that society rolls, the way that this whole shit goes, like you would be with a person and a man asks you how you doing. He asking you how you doing because he sees something is wrong. A woman gonna say, "Oh, nothing is wrong, nothing is the matter. I'm fine." He was like, "Okay," because in a man's mind, he's like, "Well, I asked her. She said nothing was wrong, so I guess nothing was wrong." But see, men is not contacted with their intuition. You ain't gonna never ask nobody what's wrong if ain't shit wrong. But as a man, you gotta probe and go deep and try to figure out what is actually wrong. And if you don't do that, the shit that's actually wrong will continue to be like a weed growing in a garden. And then all of a sudden it's something where you thought it was nothing because you didn't follow your intuition. You wasn't able to lead. So these are all triggering conversations, but they're based in reality. They're based in truth. Anything that you will present to me, it will probably be based in confirmation bias, based upon sciences and modalities that don't work and leave you kind of confused and lonely at the end of the day. And then when you see somebody that's distressed, you should be able to say, go meditate and clear your mind. But you won't be able to say that if she got to go to work. Because how she going to meditate when she got to go to work in 10 minutes? So you can't really ease, you can't really stress because you love her and you want to be with her, but y'all both under lockdown. Y'all both have an opportunity to work together. You lead, she follow, and y'all can actually follow the blueprint of the kingdom and build the temple as such. By going and hacking into the mainframe like Neo and Trinity to alter the matrix at a root level. Because nobody can stop you to do that except the fact that everything promoted to you, and trust me, people act like sexy red is bad, but ever since I was a little boy, the government, the media, the music, it all have perpetuated single parent households in a black community. If it always have been a thing. And very few of our melanated people experience quality relationships because we are being sold sex and we are being sold lockdown. Sex and work, sex and work, sex and work, sex and work. And none of these things are traveling the deep dimensions of the realities to get in contact with gods and goddesses to then alter and bargain your way through this matrix. That's how it goes. You can't do it alone, and you can't not do it. You have to understand, understand, and overstand. So I just wanted to take some time to deliver some truth. Of course, the truth is always bitter. The truth don't never feel good, especially when you live in a lie. And it's easy to dismiss. But if you heard what I'm saying, then it actually applies to you. Because if it never applied, you could have just clicked off the video. But if it does apply, then it's time for you to do inner work. You don't have to buy psychedelics. I think you should. But if you don't want to go that route, just practice being blindfolded or practice sitting in the dark and travel into deep dimensions within yourself. The best way to do it is with music and psychedelics in a blindfold. But if you don't want to do any of those things, try to get to that state of being. Go deep into the darkness, deep, 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 deep into that darkness until you find the light. Okay, that's the way. So, if all is being said, I hope that y'all enjoyed the content. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope it inspired you to do some spiritual work, to get some understanding and overstanding and understanding about what you should do spiritually and moving on. I want you to know that this spirituality is real. It's just as real as you going to work on a Monday. It's just as real as you going to work on a Tuesday. Now, I don't want you to go to work every day. I want you to live free. I want you to be in love. I want you to be in bliss. And I want you, through your blissful union, to manifest a lot of money. And that means doing the work in reference to your union. And it's possible because we are in control of the reality. You can change the codes. You can go beyond the matrix and say, I don't like the way that this is looking. Let me change this. And the trick of it is when you're with somebody that doesn't understand, or if you understand this and understand this and overstand this, and your partner is giving you a hard road to go, like it's a problem in your relationship when you present her with information or you present him with information, then y'all got a hard road to travel. Okay. Y'all going to be in prison together. Now, the reality is that you need to really get into the space where you go deep within yourself, attract your divine partner, and stop bullshitting. Watch that last Matrix. Okay. Watch that last Matrix, and then we can talk about it in the future. Let's talk about it in the Discord. Let's talk about it in the mystery school. We're working on some content. We're going to be doing some different things because like what do people really want to sit through and listen to. So we're trying to really get real concise on what that is and what we're offering. Once we get it down pat, we'll present that to the masses so y'all can tune in and tap in to what we got going on in the mystery school. So we'll have some free courses, some paid courses, things of that nature. So with all that being said, man, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. But yeah, don't play with this spiritual shit, all right? Take it seriously the same way you take these days, your understanding and overstanding of these days seriously. With all that being said, this has been another edition of the Daily Energy Reading. I've been your host, the Hood Mystic. All my information will be in the description. Make sure you get you a smudge kit so you can get that smoke going, so you can be actually contacting these deities instead of hoping, wishing, and praying. With all this being said, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll catch y'all in the morning with another video. Peace to the tribe.
Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. You are traveling with the Hood Mystic.